Casey Dilworth here at the Chicken Farm Art Center. This is my studio. It's studio number 4, called the Closet Studio, a little homage to the fact that when I first graduated college and was working out of my apartment, I set up shop in my closet, which was very cramped, and this place, not so much. I have a little more room to throw and make art. I first found out about the Chicken Farm Art Center when I was a college student. I needed an internship for my ceramics degree, so I started interning with Roger Allen over at the Starkeeper Gallery, and it was amazing. I had already decided before that, of course, going for a degree in art, that's what I wanted to do with my life, but working with a living artist and then working amongst other artists who shared the passion and this love for the world of creativity and bringing things to life through many artistic mediums was just amazing, and it was so inspiring. And after I graduated, I actually found myself really sad that my internship was over, and so I kind of just kept coming out and visiting with the artists and basically asking Roger and the others over there, anything I can help out with, and I kind of just continued to be an intern even though I didn't need my internship anymore. So I eventually ended up kind of just being accepted into the fold as far as, you know, being offered a job here, and here we are 6 years later, and I'm still here at the Art Center, and now I've grown, you know, as an artist and a person, being involved in all of that. I'm now a lead production painter over in the Starkeeper Gallery, and that's my day job, but I also, of course, have my studio here, and in my studio I get to focus on whatever art makes me happy in that particular moment. I identify as an artist first and foremost, but I don't like to hold myself to just one medium. I am a potter, I'm a painter, I design my own jewelry, I do mosaic works, I've done murals, done lots of collages with, you know, organic skulls, with different sticks and fun things I found outside. If I see it and I find it inspiring, I just kind of let that creativity flow and turn it into something that I find beautiful, and I hope that others also find beautiful and you know, inspiring and creative. I think I've always had a passion for art, even from a young age. You know, I didn't grow up as an only child. I'm the oldest of 4. And for a long time there were just 2 of us, but I was always drawing, or, you know, if I was somewhere, you know, my parents kind of always made sure I had a box of crayons and a coloring book so I wouldn't get bored. You know, if I did get bored, I had no excuse to not at least doodle. And I remember my very first easel actually being set up in the living room and having, you know, all the pockets, and having all the markers in one cup and all the crayons in one cup and all the colored pencils in another cup. And I was really excited because it was one of the first time my parents let me use markers unsupervised. So I was very careful, and I didn't get marker on the frame at all. It was only on the page, and I just remember loving that thing. And I remember there was a few times that I wanted to do stuff outside, so my dad moved the easel outside, and I was outside, and I drew the flowers and I drew the trees, and thankfully I grew up where I grew up in New Jersey. We were right next to the woods, so I remember drawing and illustrating, you know, trees and natural things at a very young age, and that kind of grew with me as I developed. One of the favorite things for me to do is to illustrate nature, specifically, again, trees. There's something about the way that they, you know, grow and they move, and the branches, you know, they're constantly reaching higher and further into the sky, and it's just kind of magical. It's the most pure form of inspiration for me, and I love bringing that into a lot of the work that I do. And then on the opposite side of the spectrum, I love fungi, which is kind of, the destruction of, things, the breakdown, decomposition. So I'm constantly finding that balance within my art between creation and decomposition. So I've done a couple of series that focus on, more life and rebirth. And I did a series recently called Infected, and it was ceramic, and it had bottles that had kind of like pieces missing out of them, kind of decayed or chipped away at, and other ones which had like bottles that had like what looked like some sort of parasite kind of growing underneath the surface or the skin of the piece. And I love that kind of almost, it's very natural, it's part of the very natural process, but it's almost an unsettling piece of life, as it were, because we're only here temporarily, and that's kind of just it. Is I find art very much in the moment, so sometimes you're feeling a little more, like creating something bright and cheerful, and sometimes you're feeling like creating something that represents a bit more of that destructive side of nature, a little more of that inevitability of ending. But with art, nothing truly ever really ends, because even if you create something, you can always create more. You could always do the same concept but take a completely different twist with it. And I think that that's something that's really quite beautiful.